Hi everyone, Rodrigo here once again, and today I'm gonna introduce you guys the Power Query. The Power Query is a ETL platform connected with Power BI. So these platforms we can use to connect to multiple data sources and then transforming these data and then loading these data for visualizations in Power BI. Okay, so today I'm gonna introduce you as beginner how to use Power Query and how to transform your data in valuable informations for your future projects. Okay, so let's do it together. So here it's my screen in Power BI. So to connect, to go in Power Query, we have just to move on here in the ROM section, transform data button. Just click in one time and then you will see this transform data again. So click on this one and then a new window appear in front of you. This window means the Power Query. If you look up here in the left corner, you will see untitled Power Query Editor, okay? Which means that we are in Power Query already, all right? So first of all, we have to connect with a data source. So that's the meaning of ETL. So the letter E means extract multiple data sources. So to connect, to extract something from a source, we have just to click on this button here, new source, just click one time and then select which source we want to connect, right? So in our case will be Excel workbook. Then we're gonna use this one, select YouTube data source. So guys, we have this data source in our company. So if you wanna work with the same with me, just send a message for the email to the email that I'm describing below in the link below in this video, and then we're gonna share with you this data set. Okay, don't worry about it. If you wanna, just send a message to us. So then I'm gonna select these ones, this select, because if you look at here, guys, this is the name of the file, Excel file. So select underline YouTube dot excel format. Okay, so this is the name of the file and here is the name of the sheet. So I have one sheet in this file called select. So I'm connecting this and then clicking this button over here, okay, and then you will see that the table just appear in front of you in the middle of the screens, which means that the results in Power Query, each step that we applied in Power Query will appear in front of us in this middle of the window. Okay, if we look to the left, we will see the queries, which means that the connection that we want to do in our project. In this case, I have only one query, the select one, because I just wanted to connect with one data source. But if you want to work with more data source, just click in this button over here, just click in the what kind of data source and then just import this other data source and you will see this query over here like a list, right? So now just look in your right and you will see this kind of applied steps, which means that each step that you do in the table during the transformation of your data, you will see the results showed here. So just click in the step and then check in front of you and you will see the result of this step. So if you click in here, promoted headers, you will see the results of the promoted headers here. Look, first line, called de reunião, data, viés, período de vigência, percentual mês, percentual ano. So these one are in Portuguese. I will translate for English, but for now the names are in Portuguese. I'm seeing the names in the first row, but I can use the name as headers. So how to do that? Just this kind of step here, promoted headers, okay? And then the first row, just move it up and then a changed type appeared in Power Query in order just to identify what kind of field is that one, is each of these ones, okay? So that's what this changes type step applied in our data transformation. But for now, I want to do this kind of steps manually. So if you noted, every time that you just input some information in your Power Query, these 4 steps will appear automatically. Okay, guys. So these 4 are like mandatory in your project. We don't have to work on that. If we look at, and this is doesn't matter for me, there's no sense to use this kind of step for me. This automatic one, just click in the X symbol here and you will see that these steps just disappear. But be careful, because we cannot like press Ctrl Z to undo this step. If you just erase someone, will disappear forever. If you want to work with this step again, you have to rework on that. Okay, we have to redo this step in order to achieve the same result. Okay, now let's start to work manually. These first 2 steps I want to work on that, because this is the connection of data source and then the navigation of the sheet that we want to work. Okay, I don't want to move these 2. I want to just to keep these 2 steps in order to connect with my data set, right? So first of all, let's put this row as header. How to do that? Just go to home, and then in the middle of you will see this middle symbol here, this middle table with the phrase use first row as header. So just click on that once and you will see the step just appeared. Also, Power BI tried to change the type of the fields, but I don't want to do this automatically. I will just click on the X signal again and stop it on these promoted headers. Okay, guys. And also, if you look at in the steps, in front of the step promoted header, there is a little settings symbol here. If you click in this one, you will see the configuration of this step. Okay, it's easy to see. Just click once and you will see the configuration, and you can just change wherever you want, what time you want. It doesn't matter. You just go click on that settings and then change the transformation. Okay, the settings here, and then click in OK, and just Power BI will show you the result of your configuration. Okay, now let's just translate the names of the fields for English. So this one means meetings, this one means date, this one means bias, this one means validity, okay, validity, okay, validity, no, validity, okay. This one means monthly interest, and the final one means annual interest. Perfect. Okay, these are the names of the fields. Now let's just change the type of the fields. This one, guys, is really easy to do in Power Query. Okay, just go to the name of the field. In front of the name of the field, you will see this sign like ABC123. This means like general format. If we want to change, just click once and just select it. What kind of type you want to transformate your field. Okay, this one is text. The second one will be date. The third one, text as well. The fourth one, these are dates, but in this case I have 2 dates. So and I have like the hyphen as separator, so I cannot use this one as date. I have to first of all change this type for a text, and then just split this column, and then the two dates, I will change two dates, okay, date format. So we're gonna do this later, don't worry about it. The monthly interest, we're gonna use like decimal number. The annual interest will be decimal number as well. Perfect. Now I wanna filter some columns. I want to use like just date, validity, monthly interest, and just these three. I wanna use in my data set in the end of my my transformation. So how to do that? Just select it. In this case, I'm just holding the Control key, and then with the mouse, I'm just clicking on each field that I wanted to keep in my database, okay? After that, just click with the right button in your mouse in one of these three selected fields, and then go to this remove other columns over here. After that, you will see the step remove other columns over here. You can change, if you wanted the columns that you selected before, just move on to the settings symbol, click once, and then change with like this, just selected and unselected. It's up to you, okay? I will keep only these three, but I can just moving back here and change if I wanted in the future for some reasons. I don't know exactly, but if you have some reason to change, just move back to this step and just change, and don't worry about it. Nothing will happen to you, okay? So now let's do another kind of filters. The filter that we have done in this removed other columns step, we related to columns, okay? We selected only three. We made a filter for columns. Now it's time to do a filter for rows. How to do that? Just go in one of the fields that you want to filter, click in this symbol, this arrow here, and then select it over here in this list, which information you want to keep and which information you want to filter. In my case, I don't want to use the new values for monthly interest, so I will just unselect this new over here, and I will click on OK. If I'll do that, I can see now I don't have that row anymore, and now I can see these filter rows here, this step, and I can go to the symbol of settings and change. If I want to change the kind of filter that I've done, I can just move to this and rework on this filter, okay? This is something really easy to do. powerquery is really intuitive. You just plug and play, just click, erase, select, and select. This is really easy to use in powerquery, okay? That's why I like a lot powerquery as a ETL software, right? So now let's just split this column, this validity, for the beginning once and ending once, okay? How to do that? Just click on validity with the right button again and select this split columns information over here. Now we have to choose which kind of delimiter we want to use in order to split our column. In our case, will be by delimiter, because my delimiter here will be the hyphen, okay? So I will just change over here for hyphen, this dash for hyphen, and then I will select it. How to split? Only the leftmost delimiter, only the rightmost delimiter, or each occurrence? In our case, it doesn't matter because we have only one time of hyphen in each data, okay? So we don't have to be worried about it because we have only one hyphen, so which means that doesn't matter which kind of split mode we want to use, the result will be the same, okay? So I will use this each occurrence of the delimiter. I will click on OK button, and I will see validity 1, validity 2. Now I have to rename it my column. So now we're gonna understand how to rename it your column in Power Query. This one is really easy too. You just have to go to the header and then just click, double click on the header and then just rename it. So this is the validity begin, and this one is validity ending. Okay, so I have the initial validity, the ending validity, and now the monthly interest. I'm almost done with my transformations, okay? But now I want to just put over here some annual interest after summarize these monthly interests, okay? So how to do that? First of all, I have just to duplicate my query here. And how to duplicate it, just move on to the left, go to select, click with the right button and click on here, duplicate. Okay, when you do that, guys, the Power Query just duplicate all the query and all the steps over here. As you can see, I have now select and select 2. Okay, now I want to change this second, the name of this second. I don't want to use select parentheses 2. I want to use like annual, select annual. So I can just move on to the right, just select over here in this box and put it like annual. Okay, this is how we can just rename it the query. This is really easy, isn't it? So now let's just summarize the monthly interest. How to do that? Just click over here in this group by button in the home section. Okay, just click on this group by button over here, and then we can just change it. How to group? I don't want to use any dimension to group. I just want, okay, I have to use one dimension, probably the monthly dimension. So I have problems here in my data set. I cannot group by date because I have one different day for each row. So I have just to summarize, like all May will be day 1 of May, all March will be the day 1 of March, all February will be the day 1 of February. So I have to just to transform this field before start to group. So let's do it. How to do this kind of transformation? Just click in the field that you want to transform and then go to this section over here, transform. Move on to the date button over here because we have this button date in this case. So click once and then move on to what kind of transformation you guys want to do. Okay, in our case I will put month and I wanna work with start of month. So click once and you will see that automatically Power BI just changed all the days for day 1. Okay, now I can group. How to group? I will just put this group by over here. Just move on to home section, click on group by, and now I want to group by date, and then I will put it here, monthly. Monthly interest, not monthly, annual interest, right? So now I will put early interest, and then I will say to the Power Query, the operation will be a sum of the monthly interest. Okay, so just summarize monthly interest by dates, and this please call it early interest, and then just click in the OK button and you will see here this is a summary a summer of each month, okay? A summer of May, a summer of March, a sum of February, December, whatever, okay? Now let's extract like only the year of these dates, because if you guys look at here, I have 3 different early interest for May, March, and February. This is a problem, right? Because I want to use only one interest for 2022. So how to group by this information by year? First of all, I have to extract the year from this date field. Okay, how to do that? Just click in the date. Now it's time to go to this add column over here, and I will add a date related to the year of this date. So I will select it here, here, and here, here. And I will see that now Power Query created a new column only with the year from this date. Now it's time to group by again by year. So I will go to the home, group by, then I will select the year here, and the early interest will be a sum of the other early interest. Okay, let's click once again. As you noted here, I have now only one interest by each year. Now it's correct. Okay, this is the annual interest. Okay, let's moving back to Selic. This is the analytical ones, and now I have just to, I want to put my annual interest beside this table. So how to do that? I have to create a join. So I have to build a new table horizontally. So how to do that? We have to move on here to home section and clicking this merge queries. But we have a problem, guys, here, because if we select this annual as the second table that we want to connect with the first one, we don't have a connector, a field, a common field for both datas, right? Because here I have year and here I don't have the year. So I have first to create the year in this select table, and then I will be available to connect with the select annual table. Okay, so let's create again the year in this table. So I will click on date, then I will click in add column, date, year, year. And now I have the year here again, here as well. So it's time now to connect it with the other one. Just move on to home section, click in merge query, just click in the middle over here in this drop down list and select the select annual, and then you have to select each field you want to connect with the other database. So in my case is year with year in the other database, and now I can see the results of the matches. So all of fields has matched with the other data set, obviously because I'm using the same data source for both queries, right? So then just click on OK button, and you will see this new column over here. Just click in these narrows over here, and then select it with, and then you'll be ready to select it which field you want to put it on this table. Okay, I just want to use the early interest, because if I selected year, I have year already in this table, so I don't want to use year twice. I just want to use the year once and yearly interest once. So I will select just early interest, clicking the button OK, and now I can see that Power Query just put the early interest for each row over here, right guys? So this is our data set. This is the ready data set to use for DataVis. So we already done the extract from ETL. We already done the T from ETL, which means transforming. So we had in the beginning of our data set this kind of information, and in the ending of our process we built this table over here. So this is our table now. So now it's time just to the final layer in the ETL, which means loading. L from loading. So which means that we gonna load this information for future use in Power BI. How to do that? Just click in the home and then click in this button over here, close and apply. When you do that, guys, you will see Power BI just loading the data, and then you will see the informations over here. But I have now a problem. I have two queries. But if I remember, I used this information in the first one, so I don't want to load in this second table over here. So I can just go back to the Power Query and change the configuration in order to not load in this second select annual anymore. How to do that? Just go to home, then transform data again, and then Power Query will appear, and then move on in the left side to select annual, click with the right button, and then just click on this enable loads. As you can see, has a check it here. I can just click once, and then I will just unselect it, the enable load. And now if I click and close and apply, I will see the transformation. Now I have only one data set here, okay? Which means that we don't load this information for using DataVis, but we have this information for ETL process, okay? In order to build our table. So how to refresh these informations? For example, if you change the data source, how to upload these new informations for your Power BI project? Just look at here in the middle of the window and click in this button, refresh. If you do that, Power BI just connect again with data source, reload all information, update the information, and load the information updated for your DataVis process. Okay, guys? So this guy was our first step in Power Query. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, comment here below. If you have any questions, it will be a pleasure for us to answer you. And if you have any concerns or suggestions, just show us in the comments below. And don't forget, guys, please don't forget to share this content with your friends. If you think this is important for anyone else, just share with this person. It will be a pleasure for us to teach every people in the world, just to every world become data driven. Okay, so that's all for today, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye bye.